Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Slimming Surgeon podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kandace Kichler. We are back with episode 2, or the second in a series, with my best friend, fitness trainer, entrepreneur, fitness model extraordinaire, Olivia Figueroa. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Dr. Queen.
Okay, so our last episode, I feel like we really dove into eating and nutrition. And I feel like we covered a
We
lot of the
did.
bases.
Yeah, we
So,
did. I'm happy about it.
yeah, I mean, that's what we live by. And I think people could take away a lot of tips from that. So, if you're listening to this episode and haven't listened to the prior, go back because after we talk today all about fitness and training, I think you're going to want to incorporate some of our tips that we had related to wellness, nutrition, eating, snacking, alcohol, the big things. So, Olivia, tell me how your fitness philosophy and or what you're doing as a trainer has kind of changed over the last year.
Okay, so let's see. Well, I've been living in New York City for 2.5 years now, which is crazy. And I've got so much going on right now. To be honest, I'm juggling a lot, and it's a lot of fun. I'm loving it, enjoying it. But it definitely has changed a bit, and I've gotten busier, and I'm doing a lot more social media, and I've got my exclusive content that I spend time on, and I upload a lot of content there. And
Tell
I
us
also teach
about
at a
that. So
studio.
they need to subscribe, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Subscribe to my exclusive feed on Instagram, and it's 9.99 for now. I haven't raised the price just yet. But I upload like my day to day. It's kind of like the close friends a little
Yes.
bit of my
Yes.
Instagram. You feel like you get me on a little bit more of a personal level, and it's a less curated version of my Instagram feed, right? So it's like I'm in between clients and I'm on the train, and I can post something about my breakfast in the morning that I want my subscribers to see. And that's more like in depth and maybe why I chose what I chose to eat this morning, or like I'll do full day of eating. So I'll do like what I eat in a day, and I upload those like very regularly. And people find it very helpful to see like actual meals versus just like a pretty picture of food, right? Because it's not always like picture perfect because I do it in the moment. I do Q&As. It's just more of like you get to engage with me more on like a, I don't know, personal level. So it's really cool that way. So I've been growing quite the little community on there, and it's really neat. And I think it's um great. It's a great support system if you're looking to tone, if you're looking to lose weight, if you just want to feel like you have an outlet and be around other people who are like-minded and who are on the
No
same journey as
judgment.
you. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I
So it's
love,
great.
I love, because I'm obviously a subscriber. I love that it kind of like goes to the top of my feed. You know, like when you subscribe to someone, their content kind of goes to the front. So if I'm, logging into Instagram and I see stories, like yours is at the front and it's reminding me, oh, yeah, I need to eat healthy today. Like, oh,
Totally.
here's a quick workout. Like I love when you post your workouts and they're like linked right there so you can click on it and view it. That's amazing. So I love subscribing. But what are you doing with clients these days? Like, are you doing a lot of group fitness? Are you doing one-on-ones? Like, how are you honing in on that part of your career?
So I have a studio where I teach in New York. It's called Fuse House, and it's a heated studio. It's excellent. It's I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now. That's my schedule. And it's hot Pilates, hot bar, and hot sculpt. So it's more of like if you took my classes in Palm Beach when I would teach my sculpt and my bar classes, it's very similar. So it's even though it's a different studio, it's not my own studio, it's my method. So you come to my class and you're getting absolutely 100% my method, which I love. I'm free to like teach what I want to teach, and people come to me for that. Um, so that's been amazing. And I've been meeting so many great people that way, to be honest. Before the studio, I kind of was just doing social media and my one-on-one clients, which I still have, but I felt sometimes like I was like a little isolated, like I was working with my clients and I wasn't really meeting a lot of people and I wasn't getting that brand exposure that I wanted. So
Yeah.
this is such a great way for me to tap into a different market and my like 9 to 5 girls or my girls who work from home who don't want to pay for a personal trainer, but they want a really good workout class because not all workout classes that you go to in the city are good. In fact, a lot of them are the opposite. So it's just like a great, it's a great like kind of addition to what my clients are already doing. So I have a lot of privates who either visit the city or live in the city and they come and take my class as like um a little supplement to their routine. But as far as personal training clients goes, I still have some people who I've been training for years and they're absolutely slaying and crushing it. And I'm so
And
proud of
they
them.
are
And
shredded in the
yeah,
best way, as shredded as they want to be, because not everybody wants to be shredded per se.
and that's okay.
That's okay, but they are
Yeah.
so healthy. Like you have, I know of one specifically who you've helped lose what, like 50 or 70 pounds or something
Yeah.
without Ozempic. And she just looks so healthy, like so strong and just vibrant. I love that.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's so rewarding to have these clients who have been with me and who've stuck with me for several years and they've trusted in me and my method and to see them doing so well and see how strong they are and like how they continue throughout their lives. And even if, we stop training, like I will still speak to them a couple years later. Like I have a couple clients who I don't see anymore. And once in a while we'll chat and they're just still so fit and still doing amazing. And it makes me so happy that um wellness has had that much of an impact on them. But my clients are, for the most part, not even in New York, to be honest. I
Yeah.
have mostly virtual,
Mm-hmm.
which it just kind of started that way when I was living in Florida because I was working with a lot of the golf wives who their husbands
Travel.
were on tour and they're traveling all the time. So it kind of like happened on accident when I was down there. And then I moved to New York. I kept all of them and love all of them. And so now I have people in LA and I have some people who are international and my clients are very serious.
Yeah.
That's one change I will say. I didn't used to have this many like serious clients who are
Dedicated,
like
like in
very
it to win it.
dedicated
Yeah.
in it to win it. And to be honest, it's kind of the only client that I have um now because I don't, I'm only one person and there's only so much I can do in one day. And so the time that I have training and I have specific days and times in my schedule where I'm just training and I have to, make the most out of those days. And I love that I have people who, I mean, I'm giving them 120% of my time and my effort, and they're giving me the same in return. So I think that like that's the way to succeed, and the way that they're going to reach their goals is if I have someone who I'm helping who's 100% in, not just like, I want to work
Yeah.
out kind of, but then
Yeah.
I
But
don't
I'm
see
not going to
someone,
show
for
up for my
example,
session or, I'm going to be late. I get it. I get it.
well, it's more like, in the past, maybe
Not
I would
work as
train
hard,
someone
not push myself. Yeah.
or someone who isn't going to work out between our sessions and
Yeah.
it's just not where I am like I specifically want to work with people who are so focused on wellness and they have whether it's a red carpet event or um I have people who have constantly things all the time and they're in front of cameras and they have to be confident and healthy and energized and look a certain way and be toned all year round.
I
So,
mean, let's just
you
say it. You're
know,
working with celebrities, you're working with models, and you're working with influencers and content creators, like the people who are always on. And it's
yeah,
important that you feel your best mentally, but also physically to be able to constantly put out content. Like, I get it.
absolutely. And, I am going to say that this might be a hot take, but I do thoroughly 100% with my whole being believe that you can look amazing all year round and not just for an occasion or for summer, because the way I teach my clients and like my philosophy is all about like a sustainable way of living. And you can be bikini ready all year round and you can still have fun and you can still live a life and you can still like do things, normal things, right? You're not eating boring meals all the time. You can have it all.
Yeah. I mean, I want to get to, so we like asked questions from the audience, from Instagram and other social platforms. And that was one of your questions. Like, how do you get ready, or can you look good year round? I mean, I think you answered it perfectly. It's a lot of consistency and a lot of dedication to your activity routine, but also your eating, obviously. And to also go back to what you were saying about your method, literally yesterday, this is not time stamped, so we're not going to like link it back to who taught the class, but I took a class. I took a bar class, and new gym, new instructor. I'm like very open-minded, excited to have a bar class again because I haven't taken them in years, aside from any of your sculpts and things like that.
Throwback.
When you're here, yeah, throwback, girl, to extend bar days. And I was
God.
like, in Pure Bar,
That's how we met.
Extend Bar. We met at Extend Bar. And I was like, this is awful. Like this person, I mean, this class, it's nothing. Like it was just bouncing from one move to the other. You never focused on your muscle group. There was no fatiguing of anything. It was all over the place as far as the order of the body that we were doing. And it was like, what are we doing here? And then all of a sudden the time has gone by and I'm like, I didn't sweat a drop. Like just not up to par. So I get it when you say, there are classes that are just not worth it. Like I think it's very important for people to really, gauge your level of activity when you take these classes, because you think, oh, I just did a 45-minute bar class, I'm good. But like, no, I could have worked out again yesterday. I didn't have the time, but make sure you're investing your time properly, investing your money and your time into something that's actually going to do something with your fitness level.
100%, because it does make a difference.
Yeah, I was like, damn it, I just wasted 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Time is everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So another question that I want to get to, and I don't know, you may not even be prepared for this, but oh no, this is nutrition. We can't go here. Okay. How to not gain weight while pregnant. Cause I feel like we are in the age of, fertility and people having babies and things like that. How to not gain weight with pregnant. You see so many people after the baby and while they're pregnant, they're still training with you. Like, what are your thoughts about this journey that women go through?
I currently at the moment have 2 pregnant clients as we speak. And both of them, one of them, I was with her before even her first, and this is her second. So, obviously I have not had a child yet. God willing, one day I will. And, don't judge me, people out there who will say, well, you haven't had a child, you don't know, because Kandace, I think you're going to back me up on what I'm about to say. But eating for 2 is a scam.
A scam.
Eating for 2 is bullshit. And it's an outdated way of thinking. And it's not factual. And it's going to do more harm than good. And I think that it's all a matter of choices. It comes down to the choices that you make, because I have had so many clients who have had amazing pregnancies, and yeah, they were saying no to a donut that was offered them. They were working out all the time. They were concerned about gaining weight when they were pregnant, as they should be, because they didn't have gestational diabetes. They had a better time after the baby getting back in shape. And overall, nobody needs to be holding on to extra weight whether you're pregnant or you're not. Like, it's not going to benefit you in any way. So I get it. Your hormones are growing crazy and people have cravings and I get all of that. But at the end of the day, it's comes down to a choice. You have full control over what you put into your mouth. You don't need to gain all this extra weight. Obviously, you listen to your doctor, but a lot of my clients, their doctors these days, which I'm so happy to hear, their doctors tell them, like, you don't need to gain all this weight. Like, at minimum,
Hmm.
I won't say any numbers, but like,
Yeah.
they're like, that's it. Like, you're good, you're healthy, you're doing
Hmm.
great. Like, keep going at this level.
Yeah.
And like in hindsight, they'll tell me, like, I'm so freaking glad I stayed on my clean eating. I was cooking my whole pregnancy. I was moving my body
Yeah.
because pregnancy is hard enough as it is. And like, I feel really confident and I feel really good in my decisions. And they all tell me the same thing. So, I'm taking notes for when it's my time. But I think that it's all a matter of the decisions you make and you being mindful and you just choosing what kind of pregnancy you want to have.
Yeah. And the more weight you put on around the pregnancy, it's not just about the after. It's not about the quote unquote bounce back, although that obviously impacts that as well. But it's about the pregnancy, the impact that this choice is making on the child, because what you're eating, the baby's eating, for example, but also on your actual delivery. So you were right in everything you were saying. Like, you're if you the problem with today's society is there are many people who start a pregnancy already suffering from some form of obesity, and then
Right.
it becomes a not a crutch but like an excuse. Okay, well, I know I was already overweight, now I'm pregnant, so I'm just going to gain whatever weight I happen to gain with no real metric there. And then I'll try to lose it afterwards. But do you know how hard it is to lose weight after a baby, especially when you started overweight? Like, it's near impossible. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say it. It's extremely difficult. These people tend to need then medications, surgery, etc. And I think if we all planning to get pregnant or not, focus on our overall health status, we know that being overweight is not healthy. So,
Right.
yeah. Um, that's a very sensitive topic, but it's true. I gained probably 28 pounds with Charlie and around 30, 33 with Cam. And I feel great. I don't have any of that weight left. I mean,
Good for
granted,
you.
Cam's too, but um,
No, I watched you the whole time. I
and
admire
I
you,
worked out the whole time.
obviously.
I worked out
Yeah.
until 38 weeks with Charlie and I delivered at 39. And I worked out
Yep.
until probably like 36, 37 with Cam and I delivered him at 38 weeks. So, obviously I modified my exercise. I wasn't doing like CrossFit or something crazy. Like, I was, listening to my body, doing slow, dedicated movements, which is a lot about what your method is in general, like focusing on the muscle group that you're working and being mindful of that movement and, not doing too crazy heavyweight. I wasn't trying to like make gains in the gym while I was pregnant, but I was trying to keep my body in shape, build up resistance, like as far as having some more stamina, because a pregnancy is crazy. Delivery is really crazy.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
So this is a topic that I think is still relevant because we're like in the winter in most parts of the country, not here in Florida, but how to not get chubby in winter when you live somewhere dreadful. This was a question that was submitted.
Um, yeah, I know, I laughed at that. So I think that you need to make an effort, right? Like, look, I've been here for 2.5 years and winter is still very hard. I find it harder to get out of bed in the morning when it's 20 degrees
Yes.
versus if you're somewhere warm and it's 80, you can pop out of bed and you're ready to go. It definitely is no joke being in the cold. However, I will say you just got to do it. Like you got to set yourself up for success, whether that's following certain accounts that motivate you on social media, whether that's going to bed earlier, whether it's spending the money for a gym membership. Look, people DM me all the time now that it's freezing in New York. They're like, I'm not getting as many steps in the city like I usually do
Mm-hmm.
because it's cold. I'm not walking. How do I do this? Like, I don't have access to a gym. Well, you get access to a gym,
Yeah.
right? Like, if that means that you don't go out to eat 2 times in a month and instead you use that money on a gym membership, it doesn't have to be Equinox, doesn't have to be like $400 a month. You can find a gym that's not that expensive, but at the end of the day, like, you spend the money because it's worth it, because it's for your health. And you go and you find somewhere where you like the environment, or maybe you find a studio. I mean, my studio that I teach out in the gym in New York is amazing and it's heated and it feels so good. And it's like the best environment and you get that infrared and it's really amazing when it's cold. And again, it costs money. People say like, oh, it's expensive. Well, so is obesity, so is high blood pressure, cancer, and medical issues. That's all very expensive. So I think that like you need to shift your mindset and you need to say, what can I do? Maybe what can I do less of in my month if I need to budget? Um, Go get a gym membership, make friends who are like-minded and who want to motivate you and or maybe meet